Okay, hi crew. I am here today with Drew and Natalie from Jonata, Pairing, and Hilt, and we're gonna do a little summer overview. Take it away, guys.
Thank you.
Guys,
Thanks,
good to
Montana.
see you all.
For those of you that haven't met me, which is probably everybody, I'm Drew. I'm one of the only people who have gotten a new job during COVID-19, and Natalie was. I'm grateful that Natalie and the team were able to bring me on and started up April 1st. It was not an actual joke. I thought they were punking me or something, but yeah, I'm helping Natalie out across the country and look forward to connecting with everybody soon. Montana has done a great job setting this up, and Colorado is my favorite market. So Natalie has been kind enough to share it with me. But yeah, I'm Drew. So reach out if you need anything at all.
Yeah, so you now have Drew and Natalie as your team, Jonata, Hilt, in the pairing. We both really love Colorado that much that we both didn't want to give it up. So we are super excited about it. And also, as you guys know, it is our home territory. Our headquarters is in Denver for our company. And we have a lot of connections in the whole community, and we just love to be a part of it. So sad we haven't seen you guys lately. We missed you. We missed a lot of different fun stuff, but happy to be here now.
Yeah.
So we want to go through what's going on in the winery, what's going on at the estates. As you guys know, we are a full 100% estate winery, which is truly a unique situation for how much wine you guys sell from us. And we want to go give you a snapshot through the ranch, through the new winery, and a real explanation of the pairing and what's going on with the new vintages and everything that you guys have in stock. So super excited to work with you on this, and thanks Montana for setting this up.
So we've got our three brands underneath: Jonata, the Hilt Estate, and the Pairing. And like Natalie said, one of the most important things is that we are grower producers across the board for these wines. And it really all started with Jonata. Jonata is in Ballard Canyon, a little Goldilocks zone of the Santa Ynez Valley. Not too hot, not too cold. We find this little safe haven in Ballard, which is where we produce every single wine from Jonata off of our ranch, the Jonata Ranch. It's a special little spot that just it gets a ton of coastal influence during the evenings, and then these warm, heat spikes throughout the day that just allow us to create depth and richness and really singular wines from a singular place in our region.
Yeah, and it's all one of the things that's truly unique from Jonata. As you guys know, you guys actually sell a couple other Ballard Canyon wines that most of so for instance, when you're looking at Jonata as an AVA, it is this wind tunnel that comes in from the ocean. It's very important to get that coastal breeze, but also it's very dry, as you see in the picture with the goats and the llamas and the rams. It's actually this beautiful kind of like ranch style. I'm from Texas, so I feel like it's a country ranch style ranch. But what's unique compared to any other place in Ballard Canyon is we're all Carignan sand. It is a sand pit where Jonata sits. And Ruben, our viticulturist, who is also the viticulturist for Stoltman, who you guys sell as well, he explains how Jonata is a sense of place, and we have different blocks. That is the Cab Franc, the Syrah, the Petit Verdot. It's Rhone and Bordeaux primarily. We're the only Bordeaux producer in Ballard Canyon. Primarily, everyone does Rhone varietals, but we really wanted to put Bordeaux in these sandy pits because we looked at our friends in Bordeaux in France, and we wanted to really create a special place. So we were also Jonata, as you have seen, we were the very first to kind of make an elevated style of wine in the Central Coast period. Jonata is the highest point scoring wine period outside of Napa Valley and the history of scores. So we have more 95 and above wines than anyone else outside of Napa Valley. But the true essence of Jonata is that it's a full-fledged ranch and ecosystem. We have rams, we have the goats, we have Berkshire Jonata pigs that we took a Berkshire pig and we took a Jonata wild pig and blended them together. I mean, pretty amazing. Some of the best prosciutto you've ever eaten in your life. And then, we have the full-fledged ranch, and that's also where our estate is. When you guys come visit, that's where you're going to stay, at the ranch. So I'm super excited to have you guys out there.
Yeah. And we talk about some of the things that are just really important to Jonata Ranch, and Natalie mentioned it. It's really biodiverse when it comes to the livestock that we have. Everyone has a purpose on site. Every member of the team, every animal that we have there, everything that we plant is all driven towards this purpose and creating this really biodiverse ecosystem that makes our ranch such a unique spot. Natalie again mentioned that we are on this great deep sand pit. Essentially, it's like the sand dunes or the ocean or the beach got dumped right in the middle of the hills, and it's totally unique for our area, for Ballard Canyon, the high concentration of sand. And what Matt says that really translates to, because it's great to know what it turns into, is that all of Ballard Canyon is known for richness and great fruit structure and depth. But what our sand does, because our roots dig so deep in this and they work so hard, is that we develop a pretty robust tannin structure that our other friends in Santa Barbara County just don't really have and can't develop naturally as we do. So it just creates a totally unique spot because of that sand and that soil, and because of the people and what we do. And
you're totally right. And we're a very young team. I don't know if you see, me and Drew are very young. And same with Matt. We're all the same age, which is really kind of cool to think about. That's our whole vineyard team. We're the wine team. And then what's neat about it is Matt's been there since the beginning. He's been there for 15 years. This is his home. And I always love the story because Matt originally was working for the Staglins. He worked under Andy Erickson, then went out to Craggy Range for New Zealand. That's why our Sauvignon Blanc is the best Sauvignon Blanc. If you guys taste that pairing, or even the Jonata Sauvignon Blanc, obsessed with it. And Matt got a call saying, we found your home. There's someone doing this project in Santa Barbara. And honestly, it was something that no one ever thought of back then. We think now there's such great wines of the Central Coast, but really Jonata was one that paved the path for all of Central Coast. And Matt, my favorite story about Matt was when he first made the 2005 vintage, he started doing punch downs like you would do in Napa Valley. He would punch down the wine and make it all, extract the flavor. But the thing is these berries are super, super condensed and totally different than the wines in the vines from Napa Valley. And the wine was almost undrinkable for the first time because you can't extract this wine. You think these wines are big and robust, but it's all natural flavoring. He barely does anything. We are so into, less is more philosophy. Matt, and especially what's really cool is that for the last, 6 years, he's been doing the Hilt Estate, and being a Pinot Noir and Chard guy now, you'll see, even the 15 vintage, what you guys have, he has this elegance to him, and his team has this elegance from making Pinot Noir and Chardonnay and Rhone and Bordeaux varietals that 90% of winemakers don't get the opportunity of doing that. So it's pretty incredible. So our vineyard team has been with us since the beginning. Every single one of these guys we've been working with forever, including Ruben, who's our viticulturist, who helped plant the vineyards and help cultivate the vines, and his team is absolutely incredible. And Drew, who is our assistant winemaker, who is Matt's closest confidant, has been there since the inception.
The one in the image here, Drew.
Yeah, Drew's on the left bottom, and then Ruben's on the right, and then that's Otis, the mascot, which is Otis is Matt's golden doodle. So all good people.
Yeah.
And that's really what it's all about.
On site at Jonata is, here we go. Yeah, I think we have 16 varietals planted. Is that where we're at now?
It's 11.
11. Okay,
Well,
sorry.
no,
11
actually,
varietals.
sorry, it's 16 now because we have we have all the Acertico.
Monroe, Certico. Yeah, we're throwing in some new things. So,
Yeah, so you're right. It's 16. It's not. They're not in play yet. We have some fun Greek varietals, and he's doing some crazy plantings, and yeah, exactly.
and that's, I mean, this is why, one of the funnest wines that we produce, and really, our introduction into Honata is Todos, and Todos is by everyone for everyone. This is really the truest expression of the estate, and I think Matt would say the most challenging but the most rewarding wine to make each vintage, because it's an amalgamation, a culmination of everything that comes through in a single year. Right, it's how every varietal is working with each other. Every person on site is working with each other to pick at the premium time, and to bring out just incredible structure and power and depth and balance. Is where we're at here, and this showcases Bordeaux and Rhone, and throw in a little bit else, a little bit of Greek to give you life and freshness in the future. But this is a true expression of our people and our team at Jonata, and that's Todos.
And you guys have worked with this wine, and the 2015 vintage is undoubtedly the best vintage of Todos ever made. The bright red fruit, the intensity. I mean, the wine is, I think everyone's kind of bored with the red blend category, in my opinion. And this is nothing like any other red blend. Do not call it a red blend. It is not a red blend. It is Todos. Todos is its own entity. It is the style of the ranch. It is also the only estate Bordeaux Rhone varietal made in all of California, which is, I think, is very important to know. A lot of people are making red blends from vineyards that they're just sourcing fruit from and making it in a category. We are not doing that. We are creating a category in its own. We've always beat to our own drum. We're very fortunate to be able to create wines with a sense of place. And Todos is the ranch, and it's for everyone to drink. Most of the people that are tired and sick of the bullshit wines that are out there, this is the cool kids wine. And you guys pop the bottles. There is a crazy by the glass for you guys to be using. It's only $25 by the glass, which is absolutely insane. During these times, it's hard. This wine is a easy sell, and it's $50 on the shelf, and we're happy to let's get retailers on it. Let's happy to work with people directly. We want to support you to make this happen. Todos is what the ranch is all about.
Absolutely. Singular wines from a singular place. That's where we're at.
Now we're going to transition to the Hilt estate. And a lot of you guys I've known for many years. I know, and I'm obsessed with Santa Rita Hills. I've been working in Santa Rita Hills for over a decade. And I remember the first time I stepped on Radian and Bent Rock Vineyard. When Bent Rock Vineyard was first introduced, it's 12 years old now vineyard. I thought the people that planted it were fucking loco. Sorry, didn't mean to say that word. And they were absolutely crazy because this is the farthest southwest corner of Santa Rita Hills, guys. So everyone is making this. Everyone in Santa Rita Hills is in this really, there's two parts of Santa Rita Hills that we really see that really everyone is visualizing. Santa Rita Hills is a large appellation. There's 20 miles of Santa Rita Hills, guys. So if you look at Santa Rita Hills as a whole, it's a very large appellation. We really believe that there's 7 miles of this that is a different terroir than the rest of Santa Rita Hills. So there's a sandy loam soil, and then there's really this diatomaceous rock, which you see this diatomaceous white, diatom meaning white, beautiful calcareous soil. But we are a very special place because Radian and Bent Rock are really the epicenter of what this world is. So there's a little bit of clay. There's 12 different kinds of soil content going through Radian and Bent Rock. And I can't tell you how much of a love affair I have for this vineyard. It has been my lifeblood for so long because it's truly one of the most unique spaces, period, in all of California. There's nothing like it. If you see these little berry clusters, it makes these intense berry clusters because the wind is swooping through the vineyard site. It is the windiest, crazy, gnarly vineyard that these berries have to hold together and get very excited. And it creates this an aromatic, beautiful texture to the wines that you just can't find anywhere else. And if you look right here, the middle picture of the vineyards, that's the Radian Pinot Bowl. So the wind sweeps through that Pinot Bowl, and then you get this rock and limestone. And every part of the vineyard is almost a unique extra part of the terroir. And we're really now, we are stewards of this vineyard for the last, like, what is it, 5 years? I'm bad with time.
It's 2014.
2014 vintage was the first time we actually owned the vineyard. So we actually didn't plant the vineyard. Matt fell in love with this vineyard and really positioned to say, hey, we need to be the stewards of this land. And Ruben became the viticulturist on the vineyard. And we changed the philosophy of these vineyards to be, we want these vineyards to be the Grand Cru, the best vineyards in Santa Rita Hills. Right. It is the most expensive fruit to purchase from Santa Rita Hills. 20 different vineyards sourced from this vineyard. So a lot of people are buying this fruit to make their single vineyard wines, their best part of the vineyard. And this is our home vineyard. So we are very lucky to be a part of this, the growing part and the farming of this vineyard, and being able to source some of the best fruit from there. Do you want to tell them about our visit there a couple weeks ago, Drew?
Oh man, I mean, it's an incredible place. The image here that we've got up of Matt is kind of a great little snapshot of the area as a whole. So we're north facing essentially on these hills, and we've got an aspect that's just totally unique to us. And you see actually a lot of the diatom in those hills there. That is when we're up in the vineyards and we look at our vineyards, and that's the Pinot Bowl that you see looking south. And then you turn around and you just get this most picturesque, most beautiful sight. And you see that we are totally alone in that corner, in that southwest corner of the AVA. So if you're ever looking at the map and you want to find us where we are, just literally go as far as you can south and as far as you can west, and you'll see Salsipuedes, Bent Rock, and Radian vineyards amidst Salsipuedes. But it's a special spot. Natalie and I were collecting rocks all day long. We visited. This vineyard is so drastic and changing from the bottom to the top. I mean, going from damn near sea level to, what was it?
It's like 650, I think.
700 at the top, or 800 at the top. And you'll change from, again, these blends of soils up to where you're like walking on the moon. We've got the moon blocks up at the top, and we've actually transferred all of our chickens from Jonata Ranch. Ruben and Matt and the team brought them over. They brought over 50 chickens and growing. I think there was like 8 chicks that had hatched right around that time that we left. It was awesome to see that, but they're getting them ready. They're getting them acclimated to the land, letting them know where their home is, and so that we can start pumping nitrogen into the soils, because the DE is so poor in nutrients. It offers this salinity and this electricity along with the wind, but it's so poor in nutrients that we're looking to change up the soil type. And since we've had it in 2014, Matt mentions that the work that they've done on the soil itself, in 3 vintages, they've actually changed the molecular structure of the soil type to just be so much more healthy and vibrant, and really produces in the wines. So, when it comes to setting this vineyard apart, like, it was done by when they picked the site, and Matt and Ruben watched them plant it since 2008. And then we had the opportunity to take it over in 14. And I mean, the work they've done is special. And you can see Matt kind of geeks out when we all get on the call next. There's twinkles in his eyes when he talks about Radian and Bent Rock and how they work together to produce our estate wines. And so we can lead right into it here and kind of jump in. But the Hilt Estate Pinot Noir is really the driving factor of the wine. Like Todos is a combination of the Jonata vineyard. The Hilt Estate Pinot Noir is Bent Rock and Radian working together in cohesion to produce just a vibrant, lively Pinot Noir of texture and structure. And the best way that we've been talking about the vineyards and how they work together is bent rock is the nucleus, and it provides depth and it provides richness and that texture to the wines, while the electron is radium, and radium provides that electricity, that vibrant acid, that just freshness that makes you want to just crave it. But also with these tight little clusters, it creates this concentration without going really over the top. There's just a great depth in these wines, and they work together in that perfect little balance.
And we've done these really cool tastings where we actually taste different blocks from different space, and everyone goes to the space of, oh, I think a single vineyard wine, that's special.
Yeah.
What's really special about this is the merging of both vineyards that are so close to each other and making the estate wine. The estate wine is by far the best wine we make. We are not making, so many people us as wine geeks have to reformat how we think about Pinot Noir, because the old style is, oh, my Santa Barbara County Chardonnay is $10 and that's going to go everywhere, and then I make the single vineyards and they're going to be $100 and that goes everywhere. We're doing it opposite, guys. This is the best, and it's a lot less money than you could ever imagine. Most wineries, all the wineries that make a single vineyard Radian or Bent Rock, the purchase price is $85 to $120 a bottle. You are getting Hilt Estate Bent Rock and Radian Vineyard for $40 on the shelf, $20 by the glass, and $30 on the list. So you don't understand how much the quality and the winemaking, we are on top of the world. Because we're stewards of this land, it is the most accessible place. There's nothing to compare it to, because no one really else is doing stuff like that. It's very exciting. And we are the farthest edge, southwest corner of Santa Rita Hills. So we're the closest to the ocean. We are the highest elevation, period, with different gradual, as you can see, there's gradual spaces of it. And then we also have the most diatomaceous earth on the space. And we're north facing, which is extremely important because the sun is a very important thing in Santa Rita Hills. It is cool and hot at all the same times. And you need that sun to be exposing the vineyards without burning the vines. And we're very lucky to have such an incredible space. And I can't wait, when you see it and you visualize it, it's like nothing else that I've ever really come across. It is, to me, as beautiful as, places I've seen in Burgundy and things like that.
The coolest thing one of the coolest things that Matt has said about it, it's like refrigerated sunshine.
Totally.
Right. That's what you get at Bent Rock and Radian.
Yeah, and that's why that Chardonnay is like a lightning bolt. Like that Chardonnay is so much acid, so much minerality. It just explodes. And I'm just, I love this texture of that Chardonnay. When you blind it, you wouldn't even think it's from California. So take it out if you haven't taken it out in a while. That Hilt Chardonnay is the bomb. So speaking of the Hilts, we actually, because when we got this vineyard, we knew that we wanted to make a winemaking facility at the Hilt Estate, which was essentially the goal. We've been making our wines in the Burlington Wine Ghetto. It's called the Lompoc Burlington Wine Ghetto, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, for the last 15 years in a very cramped space. Matt's dreams came true, or any winemaker's dream came true, whenever we were able to build this beautiful space. If you can tell, it's very large, but it's a size of, is it bigger than a football field? You used to play football, right?
Yeah, it's a football field, and Matt designed it that way because he's a total nerd and sports geek. And I asked him, why 100 yards? He's like, I love football.
Yeah.
Genius.
It is a really incredible space. So the picture to the left you'll see is the tank room, but actually below that is the barrel room. That is the neatest thing because we have these things called the OXO, and I don't know if you see it because of our
Yeah, it's up in the upper right.
upper right. Yeah, the OXOs, they can actually spin and stir the lees, so it's a lot more gentle fermentation. We're able to subset the pairing in one room, have the Hilt in another space, Honada in another space. We're able to do so much more. And I love, Matt calls it a non-denominational cathedral of sorts, because it's really absolutely one of the most, spectacular wine making facilities. I'm not a winemaker, but I hear my friends that are winemakers and I show them videos of the space and everything. They freak out. It's a
Everybody wants
really
to.
incredible space.
Oh, yeah.
You couldn't do it in Napa. You couldn't do it anywhere else except for really the Hilt Estate. So we're very excited to be able to build this and have, you guys be a part of it and your buyers and everything else. We are about to make, our tasting room is still, COVID's delayed it a little bit. It's not fall 2020, sorry. It's gonna be, probably next year. But we're building this beautiful tasting room experience out there, out in the middle of the vineyards, which we're the first of many that are gonna start on Santa Rosa Road. There's gonna be about 4, which is a pretty unique thing because everyone else is kind of just in tasting rooms and in Sylvain, and it's going to be nice to have this kind of, I foresee, the vineyards and the tasting room and the connection to the vineyards. It's going to be nice to have.
Yeah, I mean the location of it. We're on. Natalie talked about the separation of the AVAs. Essentially, we're going to be on the southern side of the Santa Rita Hills on Santa Rosa Road, really at the start of our estate, at the start of the Hilt Estate is where the vineyard and tasting room, or the winery and tasting room, are going to be. And one of the important things that Natalie said is that Jonata, the Hilt, and the pairing are all made under that same roof, by the same team. With so much intention and like focus to detail on each of those wines. Starting, mid-August, there is this, it's calculus. It's all these moving targets that and it ends up being harmony in their non-denominational cathedral, of every wine coming through those doors now. And it's super exciting. Matt and Drew have talked about that all of this allows them the opportunity to just make even better wines, excellent, clean, just driven wines from start to finish because of where they're at now. Everything will be done here on the estate.
Yeah, and this goes into the pairing, which we're very lucky to have the pairing as a wine that, okay, so we don't sell the pairing besides anywhere besides your world, basically. We don't sell it to our wine clubs really or anything like that. It's all for you, for your accounts. It is a gift from us. Because we have such incredible fruit opportunities, we're able to make the pairing from some of the best vineyards in San Ynez. So Jonata and the Hilts are what make the pairing and what make the pairing special. But the pairing is so much on its own, guys. Don't think of it as a second label. It's not. It is a joyful drink for everyone and everyone to be a part of and be a part of great fruit. Yeah. In my opinion, when you taste the pairing red, it is the pairing Cabernet red blend. It is not a typical red blend, just like how I talked about the Todos. It lives in its own world because we don't add, mega purple. We don't add any of that BS. Why don't you take out a bottle, buy a bottle on the shelf that's not in your portfolio because you have, great wines in your portfolio, but buy a bottle that's $15 that you see at the grocery store. And I don't mind paying for that bottle. I don't care. Just send me a bill back on it. And do a challenge, do the Pepsi challenge, and you will always win. I used to sell against this wine back in the day, and I remember my best friend had a steakhouse, and I tried to take that wine off the list so many times, and I couldn't do it because qualitatively, I do not think there's a better value out in the market, guys. When you have a BTG, tell them, let's taste this against this, let's blind it. It is the best Pepsi challenge wine, and really the pairing red, the Cabernet is a gift. And to be able to, sell it for about, I think it's around $15 by the glass, or even in your retailers, $25 on the retail shelf. There's not, it's the best value for quality ratio out in California. So many people make wines at that price point and source from BS vineyards, and you guys know this, and they make these labels that are cheesy or story time labels. This isn't that. This is pure, simple, delicious wine.
Yeah. I mean, and we talked about that. The pairing is coming from the best vineyards in California. And those are the vineyards that we're working on every single day. And these wines are true to our vineyards that we work with. We make them quite simply. Again, Natalie said earlier, it's a bit of a hands-off approach to it. We don't fool around with it. We just let the fruit do the work. And we talk about the pairing for all occasions, the pairing for every table, the pairing for every one. That's why this price point is so important, is the access to it. We want folks to know that this is California, classic California Cabernet at $25 on the shelf or $15 in your glass, and they're not going to get a better value and price and quality ratio on this. And it delivers.
You're totally right. The delivery, the over delivering, and the classic California style. We are not trying to be a bullshit,
Right.
We're not trying to be, what everyone else is trying to be. You look at Matt and his team, they're making authentic, real wine. And, we're very proud to be in that world. So it's a little bit, it gives people a little bit to think about, but it's just freaking good wine. This is what you open with your girlfriends, on a night out, or your guy friends, let's go, whatever. It's a party wine. It's a wine to be enjoyed by all. And it's exciting to have, and we'll never make it fully Cabernet, guys. It's just not our bag.
Yeah.
We want it to be that classic old school way of California. If you think about back in the day, Napa Valley, that's what they used to do. They just used to call it a freaking red wine. And that's the idea behind it. We're trying to be a little like coy. Oh, this isn't that serious, right, guys? This is just a wine you want to drink. And that goes back to the Sauvignon Blanc. The pairing red and the pairing Sauvignon Blanc are our two most important pairing wines for y'all to focus on. But I will go back to the Pinot and the Chard, which is made from the Hilt Estate, extra fruit that doesn't work into the Hilt Estate wine. That's some of the best value Chard and Pinot out there. And you guys now know the story about the Hilt Estate. They talk about that in Santa Rita Hills. The Chard and the Pinot are made 100% from the Hilt Estate fruit. We do not source from other vineyards to make it. The Sauvignon Blanc, we're able to source a little bit from Happy Canyon to add a little bit more of that Santa Barbara sunshine. It's a vineyard that we're closely working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it creates this, I believe the Sauvignon Blanc is for those wine geek kind of palates. It is not your pissy, I'm really bad about cussing in this thing, but I don't believe that this
we have a whole team of potty mouths.
I know, I was like, sorry guys. It's not cat, there's so much negative derogatory words I could say about bad Sauvignon Blanc, and this is not that. It has a little bit of Semillon. It's the cool kid Sauvignon Blanc. This is what I'm drinking by the pool every day. Well, I might be drinking rosé too, let's be honest, but this is let's do it. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's a wine that's available, a wine that's at an unbelievable price point, and again, a blend of Ballard Canyon for richness and this texture that comes to it. Happy Canyon brings in that little tropical and that bit of super freshness up front, and then again we'll utilize some fruit from Napa that just gives it depth and structure while still adding some of that stoniness that comes through. Pairing Sauvignon Blanc, again, the pairing wines are just crushable. Like, that is the big thing. Open them up with food, with friends, and just crush them. Like, that's the best.
Crushable wines at a cheap price. And you look at the Sauvignon Blanc, there's so much Sauvignon Blanc just made with stainless steel. We do add a little bit of French oak. We add the Semillon. It is a serious, cool, hip wine that is very on the underground. I think this wine is one of those sleepy little giants that could, and you know, it's really a hidden gem. I actually think all the pairing wines are hidden gems for you guys to take out. Every bottle shop, every restaurant. We have killer new, you know, we actually have a aggressive by the glass on the pairing Sauvignon Blanc now. So you guys are really in a good place to just make it, you know, there's really not that much in that price point, that category for that style. And I think that's it. I really appreciate that. You know, you guys are awesome. You're a great team. And what else do you want to say, Drew? Any closing remarks?
Well, I literally cannot wait to get out there.
We can't wait to have you guys out here. It's such a great spread, and so nice to really see all three of the, you know, how they intertwine and connect to one another. I think that's a really helpful, like, whole picture view of everything. So thank you so much.
Yeah,
awesome. And you know, I am really sad because of COVID. We didn't get to do our big incentive trip, but every year we're going to be doing an incentive trip, and every year we take care of our people. We want you guys to be, you're a part of our community, you're a part of our space. We are going to throw one big party every year, so y'all be ready. You guys actually are the only market that has their own party.
Drink a lot of wine. It's gonna be great.
You guys are the only one in the whole country that's gained their own party, the Maverick team. And I appreciate all y'all's hard work this year to do that. And not only that, we're going to do chips and dips. I don't know. I'm a queso girl, but there's a lot of chips and dips too. And I go back to the pricing thing, everything. We're not going to be able to be in the market this year. So let our support you. Take advantage of our hospitality and our generosity. Be a part of our world. Text me or Drew anytime. Love to chit chat. Love to hang out. We're one of y'all.
Taste them on people and taste them for yourselves. I mean, these are wines that are meant to be opened and enjoyed. And you know, like Natalie said, we're not really able to get to the market. So you know, a couple $100 of a flight means a lot of bottles for you guys. So
well, thank you very much for having that mindset. We appreciate that a lot.
Pull those corks open and start showing those wines, you know, especially the 4 key wines, which is the Hilt Estate Pinot, the Jonata Todos, the Pairing Red, and the Pairing Sauvignon Blanc are the 4 key wines in our portfolio. And you know, those are also the wines that every year the incentive will be based off of. Every year those wines are going to be our focus. That's what we care about in growing in your market.
Thank you. That's super key. Make sure everybody knows. And thank you. That's so awesome. I'm so grateful. Do you guys have anything else?
I miss you. I want to come back.
We miss you.